Batman Beyond Year One is awesome. Hey Internet, I'm Chris, and this is a place on the internet where I talk about comics, movies, games, and things I'm generally passionate about. So, Batman Beyond Year One is a fan film by Michael Yu, who directed it and written it. It's starring Ryan Porter as Terry McGinnis, aka Batman Beyond. Fan films, they've sort of died out over the last decade. Like when YouTube first started, when I was in high school, there were so many fan films. There was Bat in the Sun producing almost like, I think, monthly or quarterly shorts where they had superhero, I think it was called Superhero Beatdown, where they had superheroes going up against each other. Batman Dead End, which had Batman going against the Predator and then the alien showing up. I think that's like that video probably has like 100 million views or something like that on YouTube. And there were just like a lot of really good fan films. It was just fun. I think over the last 10 years, I'm sure lawyers have gotten a lot more aggressive when it comes to shutting down fan films. Oh, and how could I forget all those like little short, like edgy fan films, like the Power Rangers one. There was a really good like Venom one. So there's some like dope fan films that are make you want to think like, hey, like why aren't the big companies doing that? And I think Batman Beyond Year One is one of those. So I think what's really cool about this short is that it would have been easy to just been like, okay, let's just throw everything in it. Let's just have all the action and stuff like that. But what Michael Yu is able to do with this short story, I think it's only 14 minutes, is it I think captures the essence of what made Batman Beyond such a great series because Batman Beyond on its surface is cyberpunk. Hey, let's make a young, hip Batman. But be like if you go beyond that, it works as a sequel or a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series. It continues that story and it has a lot of the noir elements. And this short has that as well because you have Terry. It starts off with him fighting the Joker gang, and then this mysterious girl pops up, Melanie. If you've watched the Batman Beyond animated series, she's a part of the Royal Flush gang. And I think this was a good choice instead of leading with Terry's typical girlfriend, because then you sort of have this story you can tell, because then later on, as he's Batman, the Royal Flush gang is robbing I think, some crates of Wayne Powers. There's some they don't say what it is, which I think is good because the movie's only 14 minutes and you want to tell a complete story. And the story really sort of comes down to Terry struggling, balancing life as Terry and life as Batman. And then on the other side of that, you have Melanie, who's struggling to live her life while she is also leading a double life as 10 in the Royal Flush Gang. And when it comes down to what that story does, I mean, again, it's only 14 minutes, but it was smart to sort of have these two sides of one coin and telling this love story because they're able to tell that complete story. And then I think what's cool is that even though it's a fan film and it's only a short, they do get the most out of their production value. The suit looks pretty cool. I think it's on the level of anything we've seen on the CW. And I know people crap on the CW, but there have been a lot of great suits on there. I think the suit is very similar to what we saw with Batwing on the Batwoman show. And I think they're able to make a really cool Neo Gotham. And again, it's like one of those things where you watch it and you're like, damn, they should really make a full length version of this or bring Batman Beyond back. We've only gotten Batman Beyond in there's some great comics, and we saw him in the Crisis on Infinite Earth films. I think he was in part 2. Those movies are terrible and they don't really do a good job of really animation wise. So I don't think that really gives people their Batman Beyond fix. We've known that there was a potential movie with Michael Keaton coming back as Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. That was canceled or never got really far in development. And then there was a pitched Batman Beyond animated movie, sort of in the style and the vein of the Spider-Verse, which I think would completely work. We saw how Spider-Man 2099 sort of changed everything when he came in the second movie, and Spider-Man 2099 is a lot like Batman Beyond. In a lot of ways Batman Beyond rips off that. But yeah, and then, Ryan Porter, who, if you don't know, he was Beast Boy on Titans, which Titans was a roller coaster of a show. As a Titans fan, there were things I loved about it and things I hated about it. But one of the things I really loved about it was the casting. And I think Ryan Porter does a really good job as Terry McGinnis in this series. He really highlights, and I really liked his Batman voice. It sounded a lot like, what you heard on the animated series. So if you have some time, it's on YouTube. It's free because they got it. It has to be free. They can't take any money for it. But yeah, it just reminded me of, like, again, a bygone era of YouTube we just don't see anymore. And then hopefully we see a little bit more of this. Again, I think it's because in this world of corporations exploiting every bit of IP they have, I'm sure these lawyers are a lot more aggressive than they used to be in allowing, fan filmmakers to create these short films. So yeah, really excited about it. I think you should check it out. I've already seen it twice, and hopefully they're able to follow up in some way, or it inspires WB to be like, hey, we have this great property sitting collecting dust. How do we get this up? People are clearly excited about this property and this character. How do we bring it to life, whether it be in animated form or a live action version? But yeah, what did you think? Let me know once you see the film. Like, comment, subscribe,